What you're about to hear will chill you to the bone. After hours of denial, one killer's mask finally slipped. The moment he realized the evidence was undeniable, his entire world came crashing down. This is that moment. Welcome to Dark Vault Stories, your new home for the most gripping true crime cases. I'm Daniel, and today we're diving deep into one of the most shocking confessions ever caught on camera. Content warning: this episode contains details some viewers may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. On a quiet evening in Chicago, life was going on as usual. The streets were calm, families were winding down, and friends were heading home. But for Emily Harper, a beloved 28-year-old nurse, that night would be her last. Emily never made it home. By the following morning, her family raised the alarm. Friends described her as warm, dependable, and deeply caring, the type of person who would never simply disappear without a word. Police immediately launched a search. Fires went up across the neighborhood, volunteers combed through nearby woods, and detectives began piecing together her last known movements. Surveillance footage showed Emily leaving her shift at the hospital around 11 p.m, and she was seen walking toward her car in the parking lot, but she never arrived. Detectives soon discovered her car still parked outside the hospital gates. The keys were gone, her phone was missing, but there were signs of a struggle near the driver's side door. Broken glass and a single earring lay scattered on the ground. For her family, it was every loved one's worst nightmare. As police dug deeper, one name began to surface: Michael Turner. Michael was a 35-year-old security guard who occasionally worked in the same area as Emily. He had a minor criminal record, including a charge for assault years prior, and he was known for his temper. Witnesses reported seeing him hanging around the hospital parking lot on the night Emily disappeared, but suspicion isn't proof, and Michael was quick to deny everything. When detectives first brought him in for questioning, he sat back in his chair, arms crossed tightly across his chest, eyes avoiding contact. "I don't know what you're talking about," he insisted. "I never saw her that night." For hours, investigators circled him with questions. Where was he at midnight? Why did witnesses place him near Emily's car? Why did his phone ping in the same location where her belongings were later discovered? Still, Michael held firm. He repeated his denial over and over. "I had nothing to do with this." But then came the evidence, the moment that would break him. Detectives revealed they had recovered DNA from Emily's scarf, which had been found in a nearby alley. The sample was a perfect match to Michael Turner. The air in the room shifted. Michael's confident posture dissolved. His jaw tightened. His eyes darted back and forth. He leaned forward, then leaned back, fidgeting with his hands. For the first time, silence filled the room. Detectives let the weight of the revelation sink in. Experts say this is the pivotal moment in most interrogations. When the suspect realizes there is no way out, the mind races between denial and collapse. For Michael, the collapse came fast. His voice softened, his breathing grew heavy, and then, in a whisper barely audible on tape, he said, "Okay, I did it. I'm sorry." But what followed was even more chilling. In broken fragments, Michael described how he followed Emily that night, how an argument escalated, and how rage overtook reason. The confession poured out, not as a calculated statement, but as a flood of guilt and exhaustion. Emily's family, who had waited days for answers, were devastated by the truth. The confession brought closure, but it also confirmed their worst fears, that a trusted member of the community had taken someone so loved, so innocent, in such a senseless act. The community of Chicago mourned. Candlelight vigils filled the streets. Friends and coworkers shared stories of Emily's kindness, her laughter, and her dreams of one day opening her own clinic. Her absence left a void no confession could ever repair. For Michael Turner, the confession sealed his fate. In court, the tape of his words played for the jury. "Okay, I did it. I'm sorry." The weight of those words left no room for doubt. He was sentenced to life in prison, a fate he could not deny once the mask had slipped. This case reminds us that no matter how carefully criminals try to hide their guilt, the truth has a way of surfacing. It also highlights the power of persistence, the detectives who refused to give up, the evidence that spoke louder than lies. And the moment when justice finally prevailed. What case should we cover next? Share your suggestions in the comments. And make sure you subscribe for more shocking true crime stories. Your support helps us bring these stories to light.